My dear Virgo, I see you. I see what you have been carrying. I see the version of you that has been quietly tired for years, running everyone else's lives, holding the structure together, being the one who can always be counted on. I want to start this video by telling you something that I think you need to hear before anything else. The year you are walking through is not your big year. Your big year is 2027, when Jupiter returns to your sign for the first time in 12 years. But 2026 is the year that determines what your Jupiter return will actually deliver. And July is the first complete month of the preparation phase. The universe is asking you to rest, to clean up, to dream forward, to do the inner work that your big year will harvest. If you understand what month you're actually in, you will move through it correctly. If you do not, you will spend it frustrated, wondering why nothing seems to be moving forward externally. I am Madame Aurora, 35 years studying the stars from my office in Manhattan. And I want to be honest with you, my dear Virgo, because honesty is what your sign respects most. Jupiter is now in your 12th house, the most spiritual, most hidden, most dreamy house in your chart. The house Virgos historically struggle with the most, because Virgo is the sign of doing, of structure, of measurable output, of getting things done. The 12th house asks the opposite. It asks you to undo, to rest, to dream, to be. 3 critical things happen in July that, if you understand them correctly, will reshape the entire year ahead. Your ruling planet Mercury stations direct on July 23rd. The lunar nodes shift on July 26th, repositioning your 18-month destiny axis directly onto your doctor and nun axis. And 6 weeks from now, on August 12th, a total solar eclipse lands almost directly on Jupiter in your 12th house, possibly the most spiritually significant day of your decade. Stay with me, because what I am about to share with you will reshape how you walk through the most consequential 6 weeks of your year. Before I take you any further, I want to acknowledge something. Virgo is the most underestimated sign in the zodiac when it comes to soul depth. The world has spent your whole life seeing you as the practical one, the organized one, the one who handles details and never falls apart. The world has rarely seen the inner life that runs underneath your competence. You feel more than you let on. You think more than anyone realizes. You carry a quiet spiritual life that you have not always given yourself permission to develop because there were always more pressing practical matters. 2026 is the year the universe asks you to make space for that inner life. The Jupiter return in August of 2027 cannot deliver its full gift to a Virgo who is exhausted, scattered, and overcommitted. It can only deliver to a Virgo who has cleaned up. July is the first complete month of cleaning up. But first, let me tell you about Helen. Helen is a Virgo client of mine from New York, born in early September, who came to me in July of 2014. 12 years ago this very month, right when Jupiter had just entered Leo and her 12th house. Helen was 46 then. She had spent the previous decade running a small accounting practice, raising 2 children mostly alone after her husband died young, and saying yes to every client, every favor, every responsibility that came her way. She came to me one afternoon and said, "Aurora, I think I am burning out. Mercury is retrograde and I cannot remember why I started any of the projects I am currently managing. Should I push through?" I told her, "Helen, my darling, listen to me very carefully. Jupiter just entered your 12th house at the end of June, and your Jupiter return is in August of 2015, 13 months from now. The year before the Jupiter return is the most misunderstood year in your 12-year cycle. You think you should be hustling. The astrology says the opposite. The astrology says, rest, clean, complete, heal, and dream forward. Because the bigger you arrive at your Jupiter return cluttered, the smaller the harvest will be. Use these 13 months. Cut a third of your workload. Sleep more. See a therapist. Forgive what needs to be forgiven. Plan what wants to be planned, but quietly, privately. When Jupiter enters your sign next August, You will be empty enough for the universe to fill you. If you keep doing what you are doing now, you will arrive exhausted, and your Jupiter return will deliver less than half of what it could. She listened. She cut her client load by 30% over the next 4 months. She started therapy for the first time in her life at 46. She slept 8 hours instead of 6. She read books she had been postponing for years. She stopped saying yes automatically. When Jupiter entered Virgo in August of 2015, Helen had so much space inside her that the universe filled it. Within a year, she had pivoted her accounting practice toward consulting for women business owners, work that paid better and aligned with her actual values. Within 3 years, she was traveling and speaking. Today, 12 years later, Helen runs a small consulting firm she loves, has more income than she ever did, and works fewer hours than she did at 46. She told me last summer that the pre-Jupiter return year of 2014 was the most important year of her career. Not because she built anything, but because she stopped overbuilding, and that emptiness became the room her real life moved into. The same kind of preparation is now arriving for you, my dear Virgo. Now, before I take you any further, my darling, I want to pause for just a moment. Stay if what I am sharing is landing for you. If Helen's story made you recognize something in yourself, even for a second, tap that little like button just below this video. It is a tiny gesture, but it tells YouTube to bring this kind of guidance to more Virgo souls who are quietly running on empty tonight. So many Virgos are at the threshold of their preparation year and looking for permission to rest. Your like helps them find this video. And if you are not yet subscribed, this is the moment. July is the bridge to August 12th, and that eclipse on Jupiter in your 12th house will be one of the most spiritually defining days of your decade. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the August forecast. I've been preparing it for weeks. Now let me show you what is actually happening in your chart this July. Here is the month. Such as transit by transit. July opens with Jupiter newly settled in Leo and your 12th house, with Mercury still retrograde in your 11th house, and with Mars in your 10th house, giving you steady, public-facing career momentum. The first week of July is a bridge week. The universe has just changed configuration, and you are adjusting. Things to do: observe. Pay attention to your energy levels. Notice what is exhausting you. Notice what feels heavy that has been heavy for too long. Mars in your career sector through August 11th means professional matters are still receiving energy and visibility, but the 12th house Jupiter is asking you to balance external action with internal restoration. Things not to do. Do not begin a major new project, sign a new commitment, or take on additional responsibilities in the first 3 weeks of July. Mercury retrograde in your 11th house is asking you to review your community involvements, not add to them. Use the time well. Now let me give you the most important date of the first half of the month. On July 11th at 5:41 in the morning Pacific Time, Venus leaves Gemini and enters Cancer, your 11th house of friendships, groups, communities, networks, and income from career. Venus in your 11th house for the next 3 weeks brings warmth and ease to your social life. Old friends reach out. Group dynamics feel friendlier. Income from career through community channels improves. For Virgos with online platforms or professional networks, Venus in your 11th house often brings unexpected friendship-based business opportunities. The shadow is that this is happening during Mercury retrograde, so the warmth is best received without forcing it into new commitments. Enjoy the friendships. Let the income come. But the formalization of new arrangements waits until after July 23rd. Wait, before I continue, I need to interrupt myself, because something significant happens just 3 days after Venus changes signs. On July the 14th, at 1:44 in the morning Pacific Time, a new moon perfects at 22 degrees 36 minutes of Cancer, in your 11th house of friendships and community. New moons begin chapters, but this one happens during Mercury retrograde, in your community house, with your ruling planet still walking backward. So this is not a normal new moon, my darling. It is a setting intentions quietly new moon. Not a launch. Not an announcement. A planting of seeds underground. I want to be specific here. The Virgos who use this new moon best do not begin new community involvements, sign up for new platforms, or formalize new friendships on or around July 14th. They use it to set internal intentions about who they want in their lives during the preparation year. Which friendships have been draining you? Which deserve more of your time? What community or group has been calling you that you have been postponing? Which existing involvements need to be released to make space for the inner work? Write these answers down on July 14th or 15th. Put the list somewhere private. Then on July 23rd, when Mercury stations direct, begin acting on the list. Gently, gradually, but truly. The new moon is for the dreaming. The Mercury direct station is for the doing. And there is something else about this new moon that most astrologers will miss. It happens at 22 degrees of Cancer, squared by Mars in late degrees of Gemini at that moment. Mars in your 10th house square the new moon in your 11th house means there may be a tension between your career obligations and your community life during the second week of July. The work may demand more visibility while your friendships are asking for more presence. The right move is honoring both, but being honest about which one you are over-functioning in. Pause for just one moment, my darling. I know this is a lot. I have been putting hours into this video, researching the exact degrees, the exact times, the way the transits actually land on a Virgo chart, because you deserve real guidance, not generic horoscopes. If this is bringing you value, would you do me 3 small things? Like this video, it tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you have not yet. August's video will cover the entire week of the August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your 12th house, day by day, and that is the most important video I will publish all year for Virgos. You absolutely cannot miss the eclipse preparation. And write to me in the comments, even one sentence. Other Virgos in this comment section are reading and recognizing themselves. We are becoming a community now. Thousands of Virgos all walking through the same preparation year together. Come be part of it. Now let me continue. Now comes the most important single date of your month. July 23rd. At 9:58 in the morning Pacific Time, your ruling planet Mercury stations direct at 16 degrees, 48 minutes of Cancer. After almost 4 weeks of internal review, your ruler turns forward. This day is critical for Virgo, and I want you to understand why. Mercury rules your sign, which means when Mercury changes direction, you feel it more than any other sign except Gemini. The fog of the past 4 weeks lifts. The decisions you have been postponing become possible. The conversations you have been avoiding become productive. The friendships you have been quietly reconsidering become clarifying. The community commitments you have been weighing become decidable. Mark July 23rd as the unofficial reset of your second half of the year. But here is what makes the Mercury direct station unusual for Virgo this time, my darling. Most Mercury direct stations for a Virgo unlock external action, work projects launch, contracts sign, communications resume. This one is different because Jupiter has just entered your 12th house, and the 12th house is not about external action. So when Mercury stations direct on July 23rd, the action it unlocks for you is not necessarily external. It is internal. The clarity that arrives is about who and what is no longer for you. The decisions that become possible are about what to release, not what to add. Now, the conversations that become productive are the ones that have been waiting in your interior, with yourself, with your therapist, with a trusted friend, with the spiritual life you have been postponing. Things to do on or after July 23rd. Begin the smallest version of the inner work practice you have been outlining. Schedule the therapy appointment. Begin the meditation practice. Start the journal. Sign the contract that lightens your load, not the one that adds to it. Have the conversation that releases an old obligation. Send the polite decline to the involvement you have been wanting to leave. The Mercury direct in your 12th house preparation context rewards subtraction, not addition. But the timing must be precise. Do not formalize a new commitment before July 23rd, no matter how impatient you are. The cost of premature action during Mercury retrograde in a preparation year is high. You commit to things you will need to unwind by autumn. Wait the extra week. The universe is offering perfect timing if you respect it. I want to interrupt myself again, my darling, because I need to talk about July 26th, which is one of the most important dates in your entire 18-month period. And for Virgo, this date is especially significant. On July 26th, at 9:38 in the morning Pacific Time, the lunar nodes shift signs. The North Node, the point of soul destiny, leaves Pisces and enters Aquarius. The South Node, the point of soul release, leaves Virgo and enters Leo. For the next 18 months, until January of 2028, the eclipses will happen on the Aquarius-Leo axis. For you, my darling, this is profoundly significant. The North Node will be in your 6th house of work, health, daily routine, and service. The South Node will be in your 12th house. And here is what most astrologers will not tell you. The 6th-12th axis is your destiny axis as a Virgo. Virgo rules the 6th house. So the destiny corridor is shifting onto your own house, and it's opposite for the next 18 months. What does this mean practically? The North Node in your 6th house from late July is asking you to deepen your relationship with daily work, health, body, routine, and service, the very themes your sign is built around. The 18 months ahead are your destiny corridor for refining what your daily life actually is. The South Node in your 12th house, where Jupiter now sits, is asking you to release something about how you have been escaping or dissolving. The Virgo work for the next 18 months is paradoxical and beautiful. Jupiter expanding the 12th house at the same time the South Node is releasing the 12th house. This is not a contradiction, it is a refinement. Jupiter is asking you to use the 12th house deliberately, to rest, dream, do inner work, develop spirituality. The South Node is asking you to release the unconscious 12th house, escapism, dissociation, overgiving, losing yourself in others, addiction, the patterns where the 12th house leaks you out. In other words, the next 18 months are about consciously inhabiting the 12th house while releasing the unconscious version of it. And the 6th house is becoming the destination, the place your soul is moving toward. Your work in the world, your daily life as devotion, your body as sacred. This is profoundly Virgo. The full moon on July 29th at 6 degrees 53 minutes of Capricorn falls in your 5th house of romance, creativity, children, and joy. A romance or creative matter culminates. A relationship reaches a turning point. A creative project completes or pivots. A child or young person in your life has a defining moment. The 5th house full moon, combined with Mercury direct and the lunar nodes recently shifted, makes the final week of July one of the most concentrated weeks of your year. Sleep extra, drink water, honor what surfaces. I want to stop for a moment, my darling, because I know I have been giving you a lot. Let me make it simple. 3 dates to remember this month. July 14th, your friendship and community intentions, new moon. July 23rd, your ruling planet stations direct. The universe says go, but inward, not outward. July 26th, the lunar nodes shift onto your most natural axis. Those 3 dates are the spine of your month. Everything else is texture. Let me give you the week-by-week breakdown briefly. First week, July 1st through 7th. Jupiter is settling into your 12th house. Mercury is still retrograde. Mars is in your 10th house. Use this week for observation and slowing down. Notice what is exhausting you. Second week, July 8th through 14th. Venus enters your 11th house on the 11th. The new moon on the 14th begins your community intentions chapter. Write down who you want in your life during the preparation year. Third week, July 15th through 21st. The momentum is building. Mercury is preparing to station direct. Use the days before the 23rd to do final reflection on what you intend to release. 4th week, July 22nd through 28th. The Portal Week, July 23rd. Mercury direct. The universe says begin, gently. July 26th. Lunar nodes shift onto your 6th-12th axis. Make the first move toward the inner work, the wellness practice, the daily rhythm that has been waiting. 5th week, July 29th through 31st. The Capricorn full moon on the 29th brings a romance or creative matter to a peak. Rest. Hydrate. Prepare for August. But before I move to your area-by-area forecast, I need to interrupt myself one more time and tell you something difficult, because there is a shadow side to the Jupiter in 12th house transit, and I would not be honest with you if I did not name it. Let me tell you about Edward. Edward was a Virgo client of mine from London, born in early September. He came to me in autumn of 2014, 3 months into the previous Jupiter in 12th house transit. Edward had heard from a friend that the year before a Jupiter return should be used for rest and inner work. He took this seriously. He cut his workload by 40%. He started meditation. He went to therapy. He read spiritual books. He went on retreats. He did everything the 12th house asks for. But Edward made a Virgo mistake, and I have seen this pattern in many of you. He turned the inner work itself into a project. When he optimized his meditation, he measured his therapy progress, he scheduled his rest. He turned the gentle invitation of the 12th house into another high-performance arena where he could excel. By spring of 2015, he came back to see me and said, "Aurora, I am doing all the right inner work things, and I am more exhausted than before." I told him, "Edward, the 12th house is not for performing rest. The 12th house is for actually resting. Stop measuring it. Stop optimizing it. Stop reporting on it. Just rest. Just sit. Just exist for stretches of time without producing anything, not even spiritual insight. The Virgo who heals in the 12th house Jupiter is the one who finally allows herself to do nothing. My dear Virgo, please hear this. Side the pre-Jupiter return year of 2026 and into 2027 asks you to do something Virgos find difficult. To simply be, without measuring whether you are being correctly. Sit on a bench and watch a tree for 15 minutes without using your phone. Take a walk without listening to a podcast. Have a bath without reading. Eat a meal without working. The 12th house Jupiter expands what is unstructured. If you structure the unstructured, you defeat the transit. Be gentle with yourself, my darling. You have been hard on yourself for long enough. Let me walk you through each area of your life now. Briefly, love and relationships. The Venus transit through your 11th house from July 11th brings community-based connection. For partnered Virgos, July is a stable month relationally. For single Virgos, romantic interest may emerge through friendships or community settings. The full moon on July 29th in your 5th house brings romance or creativity to a peak. The Saturn-Neptune work in your 8th house all year affects partnership through deeper financial and intimate dynamics. Career and work. Mars in your 10th house through August 11th gives you visibility and momentum at work, even as the 12th house Jupiter asks you to rest. The Mercury direct station on July 23rd unlocks professional decisions. The Pluto in your 6th house all year continues to transform your relationship with daily work. Many Virgos are quietly reorganizing the structure of their working lives. Money. The Saturn-Neptune work in your 8th house is the dominant financial story. Joint money, shared resources, debts, settlements. The Venus in 11th house transit and the new moon both bring income through community and network channels. The August 12th eclipse will bring spiritual or behind-the-scenes financial clarity. Health. The North Node entering your 6th house on July 26th makes the next 18 months your destiny corridor for body and daily life. Begin the smallest version of your wellness practice on or after July 23rd. The Pluto in your sixth house continues to transform health at the deepest level. Home and family. The fourth house is relatively quiet this month. Use the stability. Now, my darling, take out your journal and your favorite pen. I want to give you a ritual you can do on July 23rd, the day your ruling planet stations direct. This is your inner work initiation ritual. The day Virgo officially begins the preparation year for real. Mercury stations direct at 9:58 in the morning, Pacific Time on July 23rd, 12:58 in the afternoon. Eastern Time, 5:58 in the afternoon London Time, and 6:58 in the evening Central European Time. Do the ritual at the exact moment of stationing, or as close to it as you can. If you cannot be available at the exact moment, do it that evening. Find a quiet, simple space. Virgos do not need elaborate ritual spaces. A clean desk, a bedroom corner, a small table by a window. Light a single white candle and a single soft brown candle. White for clarity, brown for the earth your sign returns to. Place a piece of moss agate, sapphire, or pyrite beside them. Your stones. Burn lavender or sage. If you do not have these, any clean candle and any natural scent will work. Sit. Take 7 slow breaths. Then say, out loud, 3 times. I welcome the inner work. I welcome the rest I have postponed. I welcome the preparation for the bigger version of myself. 3 times. Slowly, open your journal, write the date and the exact time. Then write the answers to these 5 questions, slowly, with the precision Virgo is famous for, but without making the answers tidier than they actually are. Question 1. What have I been overdoing that I am now ready to release for the next 13 months? Question 2. What is the inner work? Therapy, meditation, dream work, spiritual practice, creative practice, that has been waiting for me to commit to it. Question 3. Who in my life has been draining me without my acknowledging it? And how can I, gently and gradually, reduce my presence with them? Question 4. What is the one private, behind-the-scenes project I want to develop over the next 13 months, in preparation for revealing it during my Jupiter return in 2027? Question 5. When Jupiter enters my sign in August of 2027, who do I want to be? What life do I want to have built quietly? What version of me arrives at her Jupiter return, ready to step forward? Sit with each answer. Do not rush, do not tidy. Then place both hands on your heart and say 3 times, slowly, I release what I have outgrown. I welcome who I am becoming. I am preparing for the bigger version of myself. 3 times. Let both candles burn down while you sit quietly. The inner work has formally begun. Let me speak briefly about rising signs, moon signs, and Venus signs. If your rising is also Virgo, Jupiter in your 12th house affects your ascendant. The inner work transit is doubly personal, and the South Node entering your 12th house from your rising's perspective intensifies the release work. If your rising is Libra, Jupiter is in your 11th house, community expansion. If your rising is Scorpio, Jupiter is in your 10th house, career elevation. If your rising is Sagittarius, Jupiter is in your 9th house, your sign. If your rising is Capricorn, Jupiter is in your 8th house, joint financial transformation. If your rising is Aquarius, Jupiter is in your 7th house, partnership. If your rising is Pisces, Saturn-Neptune left your sign, relief. If your rising is Aries, Saturn-Neptune are in your sign. If your rising is Taurus, Chiron is in your sign. If your rising is Gemini, Uranus is in your sign. If your rising is Cancer, the Mercury direct station happens on your ascendant. If your rising is Leo, Jupiter has just entered your sign, your once in 12 years renaissance. If your moon is in Virgo, the South Node leaving your sign on July 26th lifts a long karmic weight from your emotional life. The Mercury direct station also affects your emotional clarity. If your moon is in Cancer, the Mercury direct station happens on your moon. Emotional clarity unlocks. If your moon is in Capricorn, the full moon on July 29th lands on your moon. If your moon is in Leo, Jupiter sits on your moon. Emotional warmth combined with inner work. If your moon is in Aquarius, the lunar nodes shifting onto Aquarius from July 26th affects your emotional destiny. If your Venus is in Cancer, Venus arrives on your Venus on July 11th, combined with the new moon 4 days later, your luckiest love and friendship window of the month. If your Venus is in Virgo, the South Node, leaving your sign, lifts karmic weight from how you have loved. Compatibility. The 3 signs most aligned with you in July are Cancer, Taurus, and Capricorn. Cancer because Jupiter has just left Cancer, but the major Cancer transits this month, Venus, the new moon, Mercury direct, bring Cancers into your community life. Taurus because the fellow Earth signs trine yours, and Chiron in Taurus, in your 9th house, brings Taurus voices that say something healing about meaning. Capricorn because the fellow Earth grandfather offers steady reliability all year, and the full moon on July 29th in Capricorn activates your romance sector. Be careful with Gemini, where Mars in your career house creates pressure. Geminis in your professional life may behave unpredictably. Be patient with Pisces, your opposite sign. Pisces partners or close ones emerging from their long, heavy years may surface old material. And be diplomatic with Sagittarius, where Mars in Gemini opposes. Sagittarian family members may bring tension. The sign that will surprise you, my dear Virgo, Leo. As Jupiter sits in Leo all month in your 12th house, a Leo will appear in your private or behind-the-scenes life as a generous, warm, new presence. A therapist, a healer, a private mentor, a friend who only knows you in deeper contexts. Trust the Leo. My dear Virgo, before I let you go, 3 small things I want to say. 1. If any part of this video has brought you clarity, even one date, even one sentence, tap that like button. It is the simplest way to tell YouTube to bring this work to more Virgo souls who need it tonight. So many Virgos are quietly carrying too much and looking for permission to rest. Your like helps them find this video. 2. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Next month's video will be the most important video I publish all year for Virgos. The August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your 12th house is possibly the most spiritually significant day of your decade. And I am preparing a day-by-day breakdown of the entire eclipse week. You absolutely cannot miss it. 3. Write to me in the comments. My question for you tonight is this: what is the inner work? Therapy, meditation, dream work, spiritual practice, creative practice that has been waiting for you to commit to it, that you are now ready to begin after July 23rd? Just one sentence. Other Virgos in this comment section are reading these words and recognizing themselves. We are building a community here, and you are part of it. I read every single comment. Truly. And one more small thing. If you know another Virgo who has been carrying too much, share this video with them. You may not realize how much one share matters. It is how this work finds the Virgo who need it. Thank you, my darling. This community is becoming something I never expected, and you are part of it. July 14th, July 23rd, July 26th. Write the dates down. The stars are with you. Your big year is coming. 2026 is the preparation. 2027 is the harvest. Use the preparation well. The Virgos who arrive at their Jupiter return, rested, cleaned up, and inwardly prepared, have the year of their decade. The ones who arrive cluttered and exhausted miss the gift. I want the bigger version for you. I am Madame Aurora from Manhattan, and I love you, my dear Virgo. I will see you in August for the most important video of your year.